Kia ora, good evening. One of the South's more scenic gems, Fiordland, is proving a popular destination for both international and domestic guests this year as business picks up in traditionally quieter months. Guest nights rose 18.6% in October this year compared with the same time last year. International guest nights rose over 19% and domestic guest nights rose 17.2%. The average length of stay is also on the increase, up from 1.8 nights to 1.97, and the occupancy rate increased from 27% to 31%. Destination Fiordland Tourism says the figures are encouraging for tourism operators and accommodation providers and show the busiest seasons of the year are beginning to spread all year round. And those looking to camp in Fiordland or elsewhere in the province this summer need to be careful where if they're not self-contained. Those setting up camp in the wrong areas could face fines if they don't move on when asked.
Council does have a camping control bylaw that basically prohibits freedom camping in most townships. But Council does encourage responsible freedom camping, so this is by camping in a licensed camping ground, a Department of Conservation camping ground or a designated site. Now, all those options can be viewed on the Camping Our Way website, which is a great resource, and that website also tells you where all the dump stations are in the district as well.
If people aren't self-contained and they are camping in an area where they shouldn't be, what could they face?
Well, in the Tiana Basin, Council has a shared service with the Department of Conservation, and that's where our hot spot is, into the Tiana Basin. And so we have a 7-day-a-week ranger patrol service operating up there. And they have a tourist-friendly approach, so that if they do come across somebody who's camping in breach of the bylaw, they will simply advise them this is where you can camp, and most times people move on quite cooperatively, and that works very well. The only time they will get a fine is if they were there the next morning or if they were repeat offenders. But generally speaking, we find that the incidence of illegal freedom camping in the Tiana Basins are fairly low these days, which is great.
What are the penalties if somebody hasn't moved on in the morning? What are they faced with?
Well, the infringement fine is $200, and we have that tourist-friendly approach, so we don't issue that many. In fact, we only issued 4 last season. We tend not to issue them around the district because we don't have that patrol service. We just do it as required. What we are finding is that some townships are monitoring freedom camping. Riverton would be an example of one. Waikawa would be another one where I think there is an emerging issues in those areas. So it's possible in time that maybe a patrol service may be required in other areas, and Council will provide that service if there is a need for it. Council does have the 10 designated sites around the district as well, and all those sites have got toilets, but 3 of those also are self-contained only those. They're at Colac Bay, Fortrose and Mandeville. Well, I think the freedom camping issue was quite a bad one a few years ago, especially in the Tiana area. There was a lot of incidents of people camping in unsuitable places like on the foreshore or on streets or in car parks, and not only that but also the pollution problems that can arise as well, such as litter and toilet waste. So the freedom camping regimes really clean that up.
And is it more tourists that have been taking advantage of that or locals?
I would say it's maybe 50-50. Yes, tourists certainly can cause problems, but locals also are equally as responsible in some cases.
The Bluff Community Board is reminding residents to submit applications for the Community Board bursary before January. The $2,000 bursary per annum for 3 years is offered to full-time students studying in New Zealand. Candidates must be enrolled in full-time study or in the process of applying for admission to an agreed establishment within New Zealand and must have been residents of the Bluff ward for 4 years or more. Application forms can be picked up from the Bluff Service Centre. It's not just Santa's elves that are going to be kept busy this Christmas season, with wrapping paper, empty bottles and other recyclables increasing. We caught up with some of the team at Southland Disabilities about how we can make their job easier.
Hi Southland, it's been a busy year for us here at Southland Disability Enterprises, processing all your recycling. In the majority it's been not bad. Next year we're hoping that it will improve a lot more. People will stop putting in the non-recyclables amongst it. Exciting for us next year, for those who haven't had your letters yet, you're all getting new power meters in your houses, and we're expecting over the next 3 years 76,000 power meters to come into us, which we will recycle. And there'll be hardly any of it will be rubbish. It'll all go out and be reused as a valuable secondary resource. So we're looking forward to that in the new year. One of the things about Christmas is giving, and I'm really proud of my people here because we adopted a family under the Adopt a Family for Christmas, and they're going to get a huge hamper along with some gift cards and all the things they need to make it a Christmas for them. And I'm really thrilled and delighted that we've raised so much and so much food has come in that our people have given so generously. So my message out to everyone is have a good Christmas, be safe, and remember Christmas is a time of giving.
And the team from Southland Disability Enterprises have a message about what and what not to put in your recycling this Christmas.
Recycle with responsibility and don't want clothing and stuff like that, isn't it?
Dead animals, dead skins, baby nappies, all the other things that we don't want in there as well. Even cutlery as well, knives, that can likely to hurt us.
Wash your bottles, cans, tins, drink bottles.
Merry Christmas, Southland.
Coming up after the break, letters to Santa, Christmas lights, carols in the park and Invercargill's hottest new band. Welcome back. The night skies above certain parts of Invercargill are glowing with colour thanks to homes decorated with Christmas lights. While some of us may struggle to string up lights onto the Christmas tree, some people go to great lengths to deck their homes out for the festive season. One area in Invercargill may seem like your average suburban street during daytime, but come nightfall, Gimlet Place comes alive. For around 16 years, the street has hung Christmas lights and decorations from the 1st of December to ignite the Christmas spirit in the community. Of course, because the city is so far south, if you want to get the full effect of the lights, you have to stay up late until around 10:30 for it to be totally dark to enjoy them. The sounds of Christmas rang through Queen's Park in Invercargill last night. A really good sized crowd came armed with electric candles, picnics and blankets for the annual Carols by Candlelight event held at the Band Rotunda. The event was organised by the YMCA and has been an annual fixture in Invercargill since 1950. Last night's entertainment included traditional carols as well as local singers and several choirs. After months of dedication and hard work, Invercargill band The Sparrow Thieves have released their debut album. Sharon Rees has more.
The beginning of December saw the release of the Sparrow Thieves' debut album, Lethargic Caffeine. And as a relatively new sound on the Invercargill music scene, the band was soon to find out recording an album was no easy task.
So we had Vance Manu, a local musician, and Soundy. We had him on board as producer engineer. And yeah, he had some perfectionist tendencies, which was great because it allowed us to sort of get the product we wanted. By the time we had a full album's worth of stuff, it was March, so a good few months of writing, and then went into studio in March. And yeah, the process for recordings, actually, a lot of people think you're all playing at once, but you sort of lay down your drums first, then your bass, yeah, instrument by instrument.
That's precisely right. There's no room for error at all. It was, you get your own wee room, and yeah, there was just no. Vinny wouldn't let us away with anything, so everything had to be pitch perfect, and it sort of took a wee while, but we got them all in, and then yeah, from then it sort of moved on to the mixing, and that took about 4 months as well.
Vance really opened us up to how long it takes to get things right when you're recording.
Yeah.
How would you describe the sound of your band?
Alternative rock, and then sort of
falls under that indie rock blanket.
Yeah, indie.
But there's elements. I mean, yeah, we take influence from what Modest Mouse, Kings of Leon, MGMT. Antoine's a massive Pink Floyd fan, which is great because everyone brings in their own wee elements to their instruments. Yeah, I don't know. You kind of just from the EP we tried a lot of different sounds, and some of them worked better than others, and we looked at that and thought what we felt was the Thieves sound, and then tried to channel it a bit better and polish it for this album and work to that. And it's funny because I don't think you set out trying to with a sound in mind. You just write songs, and then what sort of emerges from your own influences and musical abilities and whatever it ends up in place.
Hear the hints of the influences come out at the end, which is quite cool. Yeah.
It's funny. It's like a constant blend of different influences, and you always end up with something different. It's what every band is really. There's some of their own influences and it's a bit of something new, hopefully.
While the Sparrow Thieves praise the Invercargill music scene, like all musicians, they're aiming for bigger and better in the new year.
There's a wee bit of luck that the right person will listen to it and like it, but you've got to put it out there for that to happen. So we'll try and ensure that happens, and also look to get on the road and get some gigs outside of Southland because there's only so far you can go with it being heard around locally. But local support's been great, yeah.
So what's next for the band?
Gigs will be the main thing, I suppose, from now. Just trying to get the music out there a bit more. Still a few EPs on the road, a few albums on the road, and just play some live gigs, really, yeah.
Lethargic Caffeine is available on iTunes, Google Play, and can be picked up in local record stores. Sharon Rees, South Today News.
And it would make a great stocking filler for those who like to support local music. And Kiwi kids have been busy this holiday season making sure their wish lists get to the North Pole in time. New Zealand Post has received over 71,000 physical and online letters to Santa this year, up from 65,000 last year. Kiwi kids have been sending detailed letters about their expectations come the big day, with some of the most popular requests being iPads, pets and bikes. New Zealand Post said the increase in letters was due to more schools and kindergartens encouraging the Christmas spirit and getting the children involved in the festive season. And that festive season is almost upon us, and the good folk at Sports Southland want us to stay active this silly season.
From the team at Sports Southland, we've got a few messages to keep you active over the holiday break.
We've got an awesome range of events on offer, so head to our website, pick an event and get training.
How about giving your children a physical activity present this Christmas instead of something like chocolate?
Try joining a sports club, playing, coaching, or even cheering people on from the sideline.
And get out there and enjoy those activities in those recreation areas, because you're lapping the person on the couch. Go for it.
We've got so many great parks and walks to enjoy, so get out there with family and friends and enjoy them. From the team at Sports Southland, we'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy and active New Year. Merry Christmas!
Thanks, guys, and that's it from us this Thursday. Our last day for broadcast tomorrow for the year. Do join us. From the news team, good night.